the April 29th, 2026 ShadowGamer Direct. I am your host, ShadowGamer, and today I have some projects I'm going to announce. Just give me a minute. Okay, let's get the project on the road. So to start off, we're going to be talking about the sequel to Shadow Blackhearted Hero, Shadow Metal Reckoning. Shadow Metal Reckoning is a movie that is aimed for May. I don't know. I might release it in May. I might release it this month. I don't know. There's only like 2 days left of this month. Well, actually, just tomorrow's the last day of this month, so it's not gonna happen today or tomorrow, but it will happen. It'll probably yeah. Shadow Metal Reckoning's coming in May. Um, and the plot. What's up, Johnny? The plot is going to be about where Shadow Blackhearted Hero left off, except now Metal Sonic is the villain, and Shadow has to stop Metal Sonic now, just like how in the Blackhearted Hero movie, the first part of it, Shadow had to stop Infinite. Now he's going against Metal Sonic in this movie, and I tend to make this one better than the first one, of course, because that's always what I aim to do with my movies. I always aim to make the second one better than the first movie always is. So, yeah, um, I don't really have much more I can say. This movie might be fire. Yeah, Metal Reckoning will definitely be fire. Um, I can guarantee that. Um, I don't know what else to talk about it though. Um, there's something I'd just like to talk about. Um, actually, okay, I have a plot. Anti-hero Shadow the Hedgehog faces off against a new threat, Metal Sonic. That's the plot. I'm just glad you're not mad at me like you were on Snap. I'm not mad at you at all, dude. It's not you. It's not you. Oh, great. Free update in Sonic's Racing Cross Bros is out. I'm about to check that out in a minute. Anyway, okay, chat. So back to what I was talking about. Okay, maybe something tragic happened that you want to keep private. I understand that. I hope you feel better like mentally. I'm good, bro. Don't worry about me. So back to what I was saying. Metal Reckoning will be way better than Blackhearted Hero was. Um, I promise that. Okay, so Metal Reckoning, I aim to have better storyline because I know Blackhearted Hero did not have that much of a storyline. It was just like fast pace, 8 minutes, slammed together. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I do want to make this movie way better than the first. I already said that before, but this movie will be about Metal Sonic, and Metal Sonic is way more powerful than any Metal Sonic you've seen before. This is the most powerful version of Metal Sonic in my franchise so far. This Metal Sonic is going to be the same Metal Sonic from Plush Adventures. I'm using the same plush, but he's going to be way more powerful and stuff. Okay? So, now that we got Metal Reckoning out of the way, we're going to move on to the next thing. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So, we're 5 minutes in. That means I talked about Metal Reckoning long enough to tell you what's going to happen. It is coming out in May. That's all I can say about it. Next, we're going to be talking about the ShadowGamer universe. So, okay. So, what's up, Jasmine? Anyway. Okay, chat. So, now we're going to be talking about the next two ShadowGamer projects, okay? So, ShadowGamer Save the Future is not the only movie I'm working on. I'm also coming out with a final movie, ShadowGamer The Last Act. ShadowGamer Save the Future and ShadowGamer The Last Act are the last two ShadowGamer movies. But I am going to say this. Just because The Last Act is the final movie does not mean ShadowGamer's story is over yet. I'm always up to continuing the ShadowGamer franchise. After this is over, I will be glad to continue it after this. I'll make it pick up a year after, but I will be glad to continue it after this, if I decide to. And it will not be a reboot, it will be a continuation, just like Sonic Plush Adventures got a continuation. But we are going to talk about Save the Future for a little bit. So ShadowGamer Save the Future picks up right where ShadowGamer the series, Season 3, ended off. Where where present ShadowGamer met future ShadowGamer. I have a brother named Johnny. That's funny. Anyway. So. Okay, chat. So, ShadowGamer Save the Future will catch up right where ShadowGamer the series Season 3 ended, where a present ShadowGamer met future ShadowGamer, and in this movie, future ShadowGamer teams up with... Hold on. Okay. So, in this movie, present ShadowGamer and his team, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, and Johnny, have to team up with future ShadowGamer to stop 4 big villains from destroying the world. I can't specify who the villains are or the biggest plot of it, but I can say a trailer is coming soon. Pretty soon you all are going to get a trailer for ShadowGamer Save the Future that's going to reveal a little bit of it, but not too much of it. But I will be dropping a trailer soon, so just keep an eye out for that. And by soon, I don't mean today at all. But a trailer is on the way for Save the Future. It is on the way currently. It is on the way. I hope y'all are ready for that, because it's on the way right now. But it will not be out for a while. But it is probably going to take a little bit for me to make Save the Future. And that's why I'm making Metal Reckoning. So that way y'all have something to watch until I get this movie done. And for ShadowGamer The Last Act... Without spoiling it, I'm just going to say it picks up... I'm playing Roblox Squid Game right now and doing red light, green light. And I would have burst out laughing if the other players recreated the actual red light, green light in the show and run for the door. Okay. So, Johnny's character is a big part in both movies. Just like he was in the beginning of Season 2 of the series. He is a big part of this of this movie. He's a big part of the franchise, actually. But anyway... without spoiling The Last Act, all I can say about it really is it will pick up right after Save the Future, where Save the Future ends with the post-credit scene. That's where The Last Act is going to start, and that's where it's going to conclude. And I don't have a specific runtime for both movies, because I never really do have a specific runtime for the movies. So I can't really specify that yet. And I don't think I will specify the runtimes. That's cool. Yeah, I know. So, basically, Save the Future and The Last Act of the last two ShadowGamer movies unless I want to continue the franchise, then the movie will then another movie would come out, and it would take place a year after the events of the last act. And if I want to explain the last act, and if I want to explain Save the Future and the last act in two words, I would say total war. Total war is all I'm gonna say. To put those two movies in two words. To put the two movies in two words. Total war. I'm talking total war. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, y'all probably wondering, Silver had a big role in season 3. How big of a role does he have in these two ShadowGamer movies coming out? Silver's role is pretty big for what it is, and it was pretty big for what it was in season 3. And I'm really excited to explore Silver in my videos. I'm really hyped to explain and go through with all my ideas for Silver. I have a lot of ideas for Silver I can use. And no, I'm not ever gonna make a movie that's like a Sonic 06 reference movie, because I do not want to take inspiration from the worst Sonic game in the world. But now that we got Save the Future and the last act out of the way, let's talk about the big final project I'm really hyped to announce to you all. I'm really excited to announce that the franchise, that a very, very specific franchise is gonna get a new movie. But it's also it's also gonna be a crossover movie with another franchise of mine that already ended. So I'm gonna let you all guess what it is before I do it. So what do y'all think it is? It's the return of an old series that really failed, and it's gonna be a crossover movie with that franchise connecting to a franchise that was really good and successful, and it already ended. Jasmine is right. Sonic Plush Adventures and Sonic Time Mania are getting a big collab. So Sonic Time Mania New World is the next Sonic Time Mania installment. It is Sonic Time Mania 6, but it is also a crossover movie with the Sonic Plush Adventures universe. So, yeah, y'all. Sonic Time Mania 6, hello, please don't, oh my god. Fine, Sarah, I won't ban you, Sonic, I won't ban you. You just missed the biggest announcement. Sonic Plush Adventures and Sonic Time Mania are going to be in a collab movie together. Wow, I actually got it. Yeah, I know. Sonic Time Mania 6 is official, but the movie is also a crossover with the Sonic Plush Adventures universe. So it's kind of like a crossover, but also like a next installment to a franchise. Now, Sonic Time Mania, it really sucked. It wasn't good at all. It failed pretty big. The third and fifth movie were the only two that actually succeeded on my channel, were the third and fifth film. And then I rebooted the trilogy because I wanted to tease that something else was coming. And after I rebooted the trilogy, that's when I decided, why not make Time Mania 6? And then Time Mania 6 got canceled. And then I thought, why not renew Sonic Time Mania New World Part 1 and Part 2? Except instead of doing two parts, I just do one big part, and it's just like the two worlds collide in one movie. So that's what it's gonna be, y'all. That's just all it's gonna be. Now, before the ShadowGamer Direct is over, if you all have any questions about these projects coming up, feel free to ask. Ask now, or just don't say anything. Hyped. Yep, Sarah, it is pretty hype. I mean, Plush Adventures and Time Mania coming together in one is kind of not what I had in mind, but I thought about it, and I'm deciding why not make it a thing. So if y'all have any questions about my projects, feel free to ask now, or I will go ahead and end the stream here and do Fable Part 6 in a few hours. How bad did Sonic Time Mania fail? It failed so bad, I'm so happy that YouTube took it off my channel. Chris asked, what are you making? Okay, here's what projects I'm making. Shadow Metal Reckoning, a movie that takes place after Shadow Blackhearted Hero, which is the sequel, and Shadow's fighting Metal Sonic. ShadowGamer Save the Future and ShadowGamer The Last Act are continuing the ShadowGamer universe and ending it. And then Sonic Plush Adventures and Sonic Time Mania are going to be in a collab movie together called Sonic Time Mania New World. And that's all I'm really announcing because that's all I'm making so far. Now I can say that how many of you all remember SP movie? Sonic plush movie. How many of you all remember that? Like, do any of y'all know what I'm talking about? SP movie? It stands for Sonic plush movie. Do any of y'all remember what I'm talking about? Okay, Sarah, okay. So, I'm not going to say the title or what it's about, but there is a 5 or 6 part Sonic plush movie behind closed doors right now. SP movie is getting a 6-part video, and it is behind closed doors right now, but I just wanted to talk about it on here for a bit. But let's just say it's a really good idea that I've had for a while now, and I'm actually making it a real thing now after a long while. But it's gonna happen. It's a 5 or 6 part, depends on how many I'm deciding on doing. But we're doing a 5 or 6 part, and yes, I said we. That means me and someone else are doing it, but I'm not specifying who the other person is. But basically, SP movie is getting a 5 or 6 part series, and it's a pretty big one because it's gonna take a while to make the videos, but it's behind closed doors at the moment, so I can't really specify a title at all or anything, but I can't really specify a plot either, but it's behind closed doors as we speak, and I have some other things behind closed doors. If y'all want me to talk about it, I can tell you what else I got behind closed doors right now. So, do y'all want to know anything, or what? Do you have any questions, concerns? What do y'all want to know? If y'all have anything you want to know, just ask now, or I'll go ahead and end the stream. Okay, Sarah, what question do you have? What's your question? Ask now. I ain't got much time on here. Why make new Sonic plush movies now? Well, because SP movie, the bootleg Emerald, got canceled because I didn't feel like doing it. And I decided I'm gonna do a 5 or 6 part video with me. Me and someone else are doing another. We're doing a whole 5 or 6 parts. Depends on how many we want to do. I think I'm gonna make a new series that will replace SFA, but there will be a movie before replacing that. It would be called SFJ, aka Sonic's Journey. That's funny. SFJ would be funny. SFA, SFJ, that'd be funny. But if y'all have any other questions, then ask now, or I'll go ahead and end the stream. So if you have any other questions, ask now. I watched all your videos. Okay, but that's not really a question. That's just a statement that you should do. Do you have any other questions? Yes, no, what? No. Okay, anybody else got questions? Who else should I add into SFJ? Well, since that's not connected to the ShadowGamer universe, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Add Silver, add 9, add Scourge. That's the best idea. Y'all have any questions about, like, my projects? Ask now. Add Scourge. Sonica, was that to me or was that to Johnny? Because I don't know who that was to. Okay, proceeds to add Sid the Silence as an OP villain. Both, okay. Do y'all have any other questions about my projects? Yes, no, what? If y'all have any questions, ask now, or I'm gonna end the stream, and I'll see y'all in the next stream. But ask now if you have any questions. Any questions about my projects? Any questions, anybody? Any questions? Any questions about my projects before I end the stream? Any questions now? Yes, no, maybe, what? Anything? Really? Nothing? If you added Skirts to the movie, how would my character and his interactions be? Okay, Johnny. If I was to add Skirts to ShadowGamer Save the Future, your character and him would interact with a rivalry. Like, you two are just against each other, and you really want to, and you'd really want to kill him. I'll just put it that way. Will Scourge be in those projects? Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Scourge has nothing to do. There's nothing to do with Scourge in Shadow Metal Reckoning or Sonic Time Mania New World. He has nothing to do in either of those projects. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying anything else, but that's not a teaser or anything. That's just what I'm gonna say. That's just what I'm gonna say right now. That's just all I'm gonna say. So, any other questions before I end the direct? Any other questions? Oh, and I was thinking of doing this thing called ShadowGamer Showcase, where like I showcase my trailers for upcoming projects and stuff, but I decided I'm not gonna do that because it'll take too long. Okay, Johnny has no more questions. Anybody else got any questions before I end the stream? Yes, no, maybe. What? I can end now. I can end the stream now. Will Scourge be future Sonic? Dumb question. Okay. Do y'all want a spoiler for ShadowGamer Save the Future? Do y'all want a spoiler for ShadowGamer Save the Future? It's not a big spoiler, but it's not a little one either. Yes, okay. Anybody else want a spoiler? Anybody else want a spoiler? Because I will spoil it right now if you want it. But it's not. But I'm only gonna tell you this one spoiler. Anybody else want it? Sure. Okay. Here's a spoiler for ShadowGamer Save the Future. The future ShadowGamer comes from. Future ShadowGamer, where he comes from, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, and Johnny were killed. That's why there's red on him. That's the blood from all his friends getting killed. So that's why he comes back to the present to team up with present me, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, and Johnny. So that way we can prevent in the future my crew getting killed. So that's what the whole point of the movie is, honestly. That's mostly the whole point. So there's a spoiler for ShadowGamer's future. If you wanted it, there you go. Any other questions before I end the direct? If I don't ask for questions, ask as many as you can right now. Time is ticking because the sooner I get this done, the sooner I get Fable Part 6 ready. So y'all decide. Any other questions? What time stones be in it? Well, that's kind of a dumb question because let me tell you this. Is this an adaptation to Sonic CD? No. So no, time stones are not involved in it. Is this Avengers? No, time stones are not involved in it. Well, actually, do y'all just want another spoiler? Because I can give you. At this point, I'll just spoil the whole movie. I might as well tell y'all what the whole movie's about at that point. But I can give you one more spoiler. Okay, here's the last spoiler. Yes, time stones are in it, but only the red time stone. I'm only using one time stone for this plot. Only one time stone. So, Sonica, to answer your question, yes, time stones are in it, but only one time stone is involved in the plot. Only one time stone is involved in the plot. That's it. Any other questions before I end this? Because I really want to end this so bad. But, if you have any questions, ask now before I end this stream. You got one last chance to ask more questions before I just end the direct right here. Okay, Jasmine got no questions, okay. Leo, do you got any questions? Sonica, any questions? Johnny, if you're still here, any questions? I ain't got all day, y'all. So, any questions? Last call for questions. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, Sonic, I don't got any questions. Leo, any questions about my projects coming up? Any questions? Anybody got any questions about my upcoming projects? Last call for questions. I'll wait. I'm giving you some time because I know it takes you a while to type, so I'll give y'all some time. Johnny got no questions. Sarah ain't got no questions. Jasmine ain't got no questions. Leo, do you? Yes, no, maybe. It's okay if you don't. But do you have any questions? I'll wait. Does anybody got any questions about these projects? Last call for questions about my projects. Any questions about ShadowGamer The Last Act, Save the Future, Shadow Metal Reckoning, Sonic How Many A New World? Any questions about those? Yes, no, maybe. What? This is the longest direct I've ever done, I'm pretty sure. Any questions? Last call. Last call for questions. I can end it? Okay. Thank you all for tuning in to ShadowGamer Direct, April 29th, 2026. I appreciate everybody who joined, and I do plan to host another Direct pretty soon. So I will see all of you in the next ShadowGamer Direct. So, bye.